Today in our video recap, we want to go through and talk about the differences between a Scrum board when we talk about a physical board and an actual digital board. So here we have a physical board. It's nothing more than a whiteboard with a couple pieces of paper taped on it. The big cards represent our content items. The yellow cards represent our task. And so every day we'll walk up to the board when the whole team comes together, and we're going to grab cards and move them, assign them to ourselves essentially, and say, hey, this is what I'm working on today. And as those cards continue to move, we're working through our sprints. Well, sometimes physical boards actually have some issues. And as you can see, this card just fell off. So when moisture's in the air or the cleaning crew comes by, they can actually knock cards off. So that's one of the downfalls of a physical board. The other downfall is real estate. As you get more and more Scrum teams going, you kind of have to have a physical board for each one because it's very hard to pull your cards off daily and put them back up. And so real estate, multiple rooms becomes an issue with your Scrum teams. And so outside of that, I love a physical board. I think setting up these cards as a team, estimating them and just flipping through the task cards, I think there's a lot of reward in there. And I think the actual touch of a card, grabbing a card and actually holding it in your hand, moving it and reporting your status is kind of like the gold star you got in school. And so I absolutely love physical boards. But as we said, there's two issues. So most people will go around and they'll implement a digital board. They'll say they don't want to use this particular system. They don't want to use a physical board. They want to use a digital board. And most of them will sit around a conference room and somebody will man a keyboard and a mouse and the whole team will go around and report status, and you lose that touch feel completely. You're just kind of dragging your mouse around and you don't get that gamification or that kind of reward loop thing. And so the way we've implemented digital boards at AGI is to actually use a system like Jira, our web-based system, TFS, Trello, any of them that actually are touch-enabled, and go through and actually have that physical touch. We do that by having a touch overlay on top of a TV, which is nothing more than a monitor, and a computer mounted on the back. This whole setup's about $2,500, and so it's not that cost prohibitive. So we actually address the issue of physical space and having real estate issues because any team can come up and use this. It's also a nice presentation tool, looks great. But you can go through and actually get that value out of the board. The other thing that we addressed is actually having the cards, the touchback, because I don't want somebody else reporting the move. I actually want to report the move. So I want to move the cards and get that touch experience back. And so if you're going to go digital, this is the way I think you should do it. I think you should bypass that middle layer. And if you do get stuck with physical boards and you're having some of those other issues, do a couple things like take a picture of your board before you leave, or use another system to track status in, and just print out the cards and get back up to having that physical touch. I hope this was beneficial.